Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 25th, and well, we got a little bit of fade back yesterday. Apprehension waiting for NVIDIA earnings or whatever, but not so much, or even the FOMC minutes. But at the end of the day, the market got what it wanted. The Fed is, working on easing, though there's some people who have reservations about that. What a shock. And that's been relative to where money's been going. Talked about this the other day, that dip of that magenta would lead to a positive move to the upside. And sure enough, that's taking place at this particular stage. We've had rising gold, and the shakeout has been completely moving to the upside. So this has all been clearly just a question of bulls being in charge and taking the move. And you can see from an NQ standpoint, there was never any question about whether we were going to continue to move to the upside. It was just a question of would they put more into it to keep pushing things, and there was plenty of justification because, again, you got nothing happening with treasuries. You're stuck, and with this yield, there's just no reason to be in treasuries at all. And so where are you going to put your money? You're going to put commodities, you're going to put it in the market. And with oil fading off as it has recently because of the excess supply, which starts to begin to beg a bigger question. Is there significant slowing taking place in the global economy? And that's something that's definitely going to be a focus of mine, at least going forward, because while that is a general boost to the market, because again, the Fed's going to be softer and continue to support the election, which we already knew at the beginning. Well, last year we were talking about that would be a net impetus to the long side overall, simply because they're going to do whatever they can to assist the administration in maintaining itself. From a euro standpoint, fell back in positive extreme, and it's going to start its loop back up, particularly if more easing is warranted. And that's just because the eurozone supposedly is doing so great. And nothing else to add to that. They're not doing that great, but it's like the perceptions are everything, which is the same for value. From a gold standpoint, a little back off because, again, with oil fading, the rate of inflation declining. It's not inflation declining, just the rate of increase in the inflation is declining. I love the way they spin those words, make it sound like, oh, things are getting better. Well, no, the prices aren't coming down. They're just not going up as fast as they were. Bitcoin hasn't really done a whole lot, but ETH has, because they re-amended their ETF filings and that, and that's created quite a buzz. They're just caught up to where Bitcoin and that was, relative speaking, is pretty equal. We can see from a 50K standpoint, it filled in that target we were talking about here when we were discussing the short setup from the MBI white crossing above red when you have magenta falling there. Triggered nicely, even a little bit earlier at the beginning of the breakdown, but not too different than this pink bar. Actually, we can see it. I've isolated it so it's visually easy to see. And that would appear as that 1-2 cyan. And it went across pretty even, and then boom, you went all the way back down to the zero, and it stopped its read once the blue moved above the gray, and that led to what we're seeing right now, which is 100% ride to the bottom and most of the ride back up to the top. Pretty clean. And from a 5-minute standpoint, it was kind of nice because this is what they did. They had all those call buyers in anticipation, tweaked them. Everyone started jumping into the puts. They fade those off, and everyone's a little confused and holding off at that particular point, which helps the option guys, except for some of your wild players. And then they get the bonus for the move to the upside. And it's all pretty straightforward action per our reading, so I didn't see anything out of the ordinary, but we definitely got the increase in volatility, and to the expected side, it was to the upside. So that's the long and the short of it for now. As always, if there's anything relevant, I'll put it on the Skype chat, but keep following those readings. Have a good one. Trade well.